Hello? Welcome to Daily Recap TV. Join us as we recap your favorite movies. Let's enjoy the magic of cinema together. In Queensland, Australia, there are two lifeguard friends who meet on a beach. Josh, who is about to marry Rory's sister, and is best friends with him, goes to the beach and meets his fiancée, Tina. They share a moment of affection and talk about how they will miss the place as they are leaving soon for Singapore. Meanwhile, Rory is in the sea on his surfboard, watching adventurous swimmers, unaware that there is a shadow lurking beneath him. Shortly after, while taking a break, a man swimming nearby is suddenly pulled underwater, leaving a trail of blood. The lifeguard on duty notices movement in the water and realizes there is a shark. Josh quickly orders everyone out of the water and takes a jet ski to search for Rory, who may be in danger. Tina is terrified, knowing her brother is in the sea and unaware of the warnings. Josh tries to alert Rory from a distance, but he doesn't hear. Suddenly, a large shark jumps out of the water and knocks Rory off his board. Josh attempts to rescue him, but the shark attacks and drags Rory underwater, killing him. Time passes, and a year later, we see Josh reflecting on life while watching news about potential shark attacks on beaches. This reminds him of his late friend Rory and his former fiancée. He goes for a walk near the beach and notices birds flying away from the sea in a strange manner, indicating their fear of something. Meanwhile, two men spot police nearby and decide to go to another location, planning something against society. Josh, who used to work as a lifeguard, has now switched jobs and is employed at a market. One of the customers at the market is a young girl named Jamie, who steals some items but is being monitored by security. In the parking lot, a couple is engrossed in a romantic moment, completely unaware of their dogs barking. Jamie quickly runs away to avoid getting caught and meets up with her boyfriend Ryan, who also works at the market. Unfortunately, they are apprehended. Ryan attempts to apologize, but he ends up getting fired. Inside the stockroom, Josh engages in a conversation with his co-worker Naomi when he hears a familiar voice. It turns out to be Tina, who is shopping with her current boyfriend, Steven. However, Josh's boss arrives and instructs him to clean the bathrooms. Meanwhile, two men in a car, one of them named Doyle, devise a plan to assist a criminal in robbing the market in order to settle a debt that Doyle's brother owes to dangerous individuals. Jamie's father, Todd, is a police officer who arrives to pick her up and tries to impart a moral lesson, but she disregards his advice. In the parking lot, Todd notices a man entering the market while carrying a weapon. He retrieves his own gun and follows the man. The robber demands money from the manager at the booth, but the manager reveals that it is not in the safe and shows it to prove it. However, Doyle still insists on obtaining the money. Todd spots them and manages to ambush the robber, but the other criminal threatens to harm someone if Todd interferes. In the parking lot, Jamie converses with Ryan, who is upset about losing his job because of her actions. Feeling remorseful, Jamie attempts to help him regain his employment. As for Josh, just as he is about to wash his face, something unexpected happens. The tap water starts behaving strangely. He hears gunshots coming from inside the market and realizes that the criminal has killed someone and is now holding Tina at gunpoint. All of a sudden, everything starts shaking, causing fear among everyone present. Meanwhile, at the city's beach, the seawater recedes and a massive tsunami emerges, sweeping away everything in its path and resulting in numerous deaths. The market is also flooded by the raging waters, causing extensive damage and catching many people off guard, including Ryan, who was in his car, as well as a couple of lovers. After some time, when the waters calm down, the devastating aftermath becomes visible. The entire market is submerged, with many casualties along the way. Josh, Doyle, and a few others manage to survive. Josh assists the injured police officer, Todd, who has an iron rod stuck in his leg. He asks one of the survivors to search for supplies to aid the wounded. Jamie, who is also alive, reunites with her father. She discovers that the parking lot is also underwater, and she is shocked to think that Ryan might be dead. Josh searches for Tina and eventually finds her. Although she is paralyzed, Josh comforts and reassures her. Suddenly, one of the bodies is pulled underwater, but Tina is unable to comprehend what is happening around her. The criminal attacker meets an unfortunate fate and dies. Steven looks for medical supplies and comes across another survivor. In the parking lot, the couple's car remains dry despite the surrounding water, but they are unable to leave. Suddenly, they hear a noise and discover another dead body nearby. Ryan, who is also trapped in his car, decides to break the glass and let the water in. After taking a breath, He successfully exits the vehicle and emerges from the shallow water below. He searches for other survivors and offers assistance, but receives no response. Suddenly, something startles him as it passes near his leg. Upstairs, Josh tends to Todd's wound and realizes that the water level is rising, indicating that part of the city is submerged. Josh decides to stay and help the police officer, as he is unable to swim in the current conditions, and asks the others to search for an exit. Tina and Stephen check the main entrance, while Doyle volunteers to check the goods entrance and exit. However, the police officer refuses and sends the security guard Bob instead. In the flooded parking lot, the couple continues to wait for help while their dog barks, sensing something outside. Ryan climbs onto a stack of cars and notices movement beneath the water. Meanwhile, Josh realizes that there is something dangerous in the water and urges everyone to get out. Tina and Stephen manage to find higher ground, but Bob is dragged underwater. Panic ensues as nobody knows what happened. When Bob resurfaces, he asks for help, but Jamie tries to grab his arm and gets shredded underwater, leaving him dismembered. This horrifying scene shocks everyone, but the situation worsens when they spot a 7-meter-long shark nearby. Ryan looks for an exit but only finds more dead bodies. Meanwhile, a couple in the parking lot argues over a fake gift. The man asks for the woman's shoes to break the windshield, but she emerges through the sunroof and communicates with Ryan. Suddenly, they see a massive shark swimming close by, easily cracking the car window. Upstairs, the group discusses their options, but there isn't much they can do, especially with the bigger problem lurking around them. To make matters worse, an electrified cable breaks and is about to touch the water, posing a high risk of death. Josh suggests turning off the power at the warehouse, but Tina disagrees. Stephen comes up with another plan and decides to use iron grates from shopping carts as armor. The group holds the air supply hose for him as Stephen heads towards the power panel. The shark notices him but doesn't attack. Stephen continues, but as he gets closer, he realizes he has run out of length, and Josh grabs hold of it to prevent it from falling into the water. Upon realizing this, Stephen decides to release his breathing apparatus on his own, allowing him to reach the electrical switch. He successfully turns it off, relieving everyone, but now he needs to return. Unfortunately, the weight of the iron bars keeps him submerged, making it impossible for him to resurface and breathe. This marks the end of the brave Stephen. Tina is devastated by the loss of her boyfriend. Later, Jamie tries to uplift Tina's spirits, but she remains in mourning and devoid of hope. Doyle talks to Naomi, and together they fashion an improvised spear using a broom handle and a knife. Josh notices an air vent on the ceiling that could potentially serve as an escape route. Meanwhile, Ryan uses a dead man's hand to lure the lurking creature away from the couple's car. Ryan successfully entices the beast, allowing the couple to escape to another car, narrowly avoiding the shark's attack and even leaving their unfortunate dog in the water. With that, they are temporarily safe. The group upstairs devises a plan to reach the air duct. Once they reach their destination, someone needs to continue with the plan. The manager volunteers for the task. He is lifted by a rope and reaches the duct, but upon seeing hundreds of spiders, he loses his balance and nearly falls into the water. The person is suddenly snatched by a shark that bites them in half, ending their life. Another individual falls into the water but is rescued before the shark can strike again. The group is terrified by the viciousness of the marine creature and cautiously surveys the surrounding waters. In the parking lot, a couple argues because the man callously threw a defenseless dog to its death, angering the animal lover. Meanwhile, Ryan insists on finding an escape route, spotting a pipe on the ceiling. He decides to use it to reach the other side, but accidentally drops his flashlight into the water. Fearlessly, he jumps in and retrieves it. Ryan begins to cross, gripping onto the pipes, while the enormous shark waits below, anticipating a misstep from its prey. Unfortunately, it occurs, and Ryan plunges into the water. Fortunately, the couple swiftly helps him onto the car. But the unfortunate man falls into the shark's domain and is immediately attacked, torn apart, and killed. With the remaining group upstairs, they feel powerless, believing their destinies are sealed and that they will all perish. However, Doyle stands up, determined to hunt and kill the beast, but he needs a nearby hook. Todd offers assistance, but upon seeing this, his daughter jumps into the water and retrieves the necessary item. The shark begins to chase her, but Jamie acts swiftly and manages to take cover behind the counter. She strikes the animal, attempting to attack her, scaring it away momentarily. She grabs the hook and a piece of meat, and is then dragged towards the location of the group, narrowly avoiding the shark. While Josh is setting up the trap, Tina notices that he is still wearing her brother's necklace. This brings back sad memories for Josh, as he reveals that on the day Rory died, He was supposed to be the one monitoring. He has blamed himself for a long time and apologizes to Tina for distancing himself from her. Tina reassures him that it's okay, and what matters now is that they are together. Doyle initiates the plan by throwing bait to the shark, but the shark shows no interest in the meat. One of them, named Kirby, suggests that the shark might be after human flesh again. Suddenly, Kirby pulls out a gun and threatens Naomi. It is then revealed that Kirby is acquainted with Doyle, and everyone realizes that the criminal is still alive, and the dead body they found earlier was just someone he dressed up to deceive them. Kirby wants to use Naomi as bait and drops her into the water to be attacked. However, Doyle manages to wound Kirby with a makeshift spear when he gets careless. They rescue Naomi, but they don't let Kirby get away with what he did. Doyle grabs him, impales a hook into him, and throws him into the water. Soon, the shark tears Kirby apart. The plan seems to be working as the hook is stuck in the shark's mouth, giving the group a chance to escape. Back in the parking lot, the little dog reappears on a plastic sheet, jumps into the water, and returns to its owner, making her very happy. Ryan comes up with a plan and starts banging on the air pipe, making enough noise for the group upstairs to hear. Jamie hears a noise and realizes that there are more survivors in the parking lot. She suspects that it might be Ryan and goes to search for him. Todd asks Josh to take care of Jamie. Before leaving, Tina calls Josh and gives him a kiss, showing that she still has feelings for him. Josh reciprocates by giving her his friend's necklace. Josh follows Jamie and assesses if they can reach Ryan's location. They lock the door to prevent the water level from rising inside the market. They swim and dive into the parking lot, where they are warned about a shark. They quickly swim and climb onto a car, which happens to be Todd's police car. Jamie reveals that there is a gun in the trunk. Josh retrieves the gun and reloads it. He jumps into the water and waits for the shark to approach. Just before the shark attacks, Josh shoots and kills it, eliminating the danger. In the market, the group tries to reach the exit, but it is blocked. Doyle comes up with a plan and instructs everyone to quickly get out of the water. The group from the parking lot joins the others. Doyle tells everyone to leave the water quickly as he plans to use electricity to blow up the car blocking their passage. Another earthquake occurs, causing the beast to break free. Josh realizes this and warns everyone to get out of the water as the shark is loose. The platform he is on starts to fall into the water, so he holds onto a pipe and uses a taser gun to electrify the shark. In the water, the electric charge intensifies, resulting in the death of the creature. Doyle activates the power and causes the car obstructing their path to explode. Thankfully, everyone successfully escapes from the market and witnesses the devastation caused by the tsunami in the city. The story concludes with the sight of helicopters rescuing all the survivors of this dreadful disaster. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like to support the channel. Thanks you for watching.